everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel as we sort of round up our player of the seasons. We've had the domestic cups player of the season, we've had the Premier League player of the season, and now that we've sadly finished the Champions League, not in the glory that we hoped, but we played our full quota of games, didn't we? We managed 13 games, which is as many as you can play in the Champions League. Unfortunately, it didn't end on the best note for us, did it? But we're going to have our look at our Champions League player of the 2021 season today, just to see how it compares with the guys on the other ones. And yeah, there is a difference in this one. Yeah, I was quite surprised with this one, to be honest with you. It just shows you the difference between the domestic and cups and the Premier League and this Champions League, with players playing and what they've done. So join me today as we do well, it comes down to a top 12. We had 22 players, but it comes down to a top 12 who qualify. But we'll go into that in a moment, let you know what the criteria was. So please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Very grateful for all subscribers. You know any City fans who might be interested, please point them in my direction. We're growing nice and steadily now, so please give me your support if you can. Press that notification button if you enjoy these. Of course, you'll see loads as the football season's ending now. There'll be loads of stuff over the summer as well. So if you want your fix of City, just stay with the Citizen channel. There'll be loads of stuff on here and lots of fun, hopefully, as well as we go along. A few laughs to cheer us up after the last, as I'm recording this, obviously the Champions League was last night, so still not there's not many. There's a few happy chappies and a few happy clappers, but everyone's sort of taking stock really, and we're not down, are we? There's always next season, 1-2 trophies, but hey, there you go. Anyway, join me all summer anyway, and please on that. And you'll also see some stuff on my film and TV channel as well. So if you want to have a rest from football, which sometimes I do sometimes, have a look at my film and TV stuff as well on there. Or if you know anyone who might be interested, point them in my direction. I'd be very grateful. All comments are welcome. Let me know your top 5 of this if you can. Say literally, some of you may keep your own scores. I don't know, but let me know what you think anyway. As I say, this is literally done on I do a week sort of sheet for each competition, sort of manual there. Don't freeze and have a look at the scores there. But yeah, I do the Manchester Evening News and my own player ratings. So we've got them both today. We've obviously got. I'm going to do mine, but I'll let you know what the Manchester Evening News rated as well. So let me know in your comments anyway, and please, if you've got any friends or followers on Facebook and Twitter, if you check the links on screen, I do check and follow every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back on there, so that's great. And if you haven't got time for a comment today, or if you have got a comment and you've got time as well, just give us a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get a thumbs up. Right, the criteria, yeah, I've only included, which I did with the other player of the seasons, only players that actually started the games. I mean, Pep's pretty good like that anyway. He doesn't say he usually makes his subs quite late, so we're not really missing too much by not including any sub appearances. So this is basically on the guys who've been in the starting 11, and they've got to have a minimum of 7 starts, so over 50% of the game. So there is one guy on 6, but got to have a minimum of 7 starts to actually qualify, which leaves us with the 12 players. There's actually 22 players who actually started games this season, the Champions League. So we'll just have the honourable mentions first, just have a quick run through. I mean, Stefan, of course, started one game, a 3-0 win over Marseille, so that was nice, wasn't it, for him to keep a nice clean sheet. Mendy only started one game in the Champions League, a 1-0 win over Olympiacos, again, good for him. Aguero only started one game, yeah, our very first game, the 3-1 win versus Porto. Aki started a couple of games, he got a 6.5 rating for me for the average for the 2 games, and the Evening News gave him a 7.5, so they quite liked his appearances more than I did. Jesus started a couple, I give him 6.75 average. The MEN, mainly Mr. Bukowski, but Stuart Brennan's waded in with a few as well, gave him 6.5. On to Laporta, he made 3 starting appearances, 6.67, we both agree on that, us and me and the MEN, so we both give him that rating. Fernandinho only made 3 appearances, but he was quite high. He was 7.33 in my ratings and 7 in the Manchester Evening News. So he would have been up in our top 2 or 3, I think, on the scores if he'd played enough games based on that score. Torres played 4 times. He gets a 6.88 for me and a 6.75 for the MEN. His best game was at Olympiacos 3-0, but he didn't start another game then until after game 6. So Torres only made the 4 appearances. So he didn't start a game after game 6. So he didn't appear in the last 7. Didn't start in the last 7 Champions League games. Zinchenko played 6 games. He just misses out, unfortunately. Only has to do 7. He's not the greatest rating anyway. He got a 6.17 from me and a 6.5 from the MEN. And his best game was the semi-final with PSG at the Etihad. So there you go. There's the honourable mentions. I get all posh. So on to the 12 that made the cut. And the Manchester Evening News, thankfully, gladly, which is always nice, agree on the top 3. So me and the MEN have put the same top 3 in the same order. So that's always good to see. As I say, at the end of the day, I do my ratings before I see the Manchester Evening News, and it's quite interesting and that we've both come up with similar figures. There are some discrepancies, but I'll tell you about that as we go through these. So yes, 12 names, the dirty dozen, as we'll call them. At number 12, well, yes, no surprise there, is that number 12 in the MEN as well. Yeah, the guy who made a surprise appearance in the final, of course, we're talking Raheem, aren't we? He was our worst performing of the 12 guys who did a minimum of 7 starting appearances. He actually made the 7 appearances. It might have been better for him to just make 6, wasn't it? At least he wouldn't be embarrassed then. But yeah, he averaged a 6 from me, which is not a total disaster, and averaged a 5.86 from the Manchester Evening News. He didn't start after game 7, obviously, until last night or the final, and his best performance in the Champions League was at Marseille in the 3-0 win. But sadly, Mr. Sterling comes in at number 12. May not be a surprise to many of you, that one. In at number 11, this is a bit of a surprise. Yeah, in at number 11 for me and the Manchester Evening News, Ederson. Yeah, he made obviously the most joint most appearances with 12. A 6.42 average from me. That's pretty good. So in other words, the players have done pretty well on the averages in the Champions League, because we had a pretty good campaign, didn't we, up to that last game? Yeah, he averaged 6.42 for me, but only 6.08 with the Manchester Evening News. So that stuck him in 11th, and it stuck him in 11th in my table as well. He was sort of steady Eddie if you look at his scores going across the board, but nothing really bad, nothing really good. So that was sort of not a bad reflection, but it wasn't great. Right, into the top 10. Yeah, at number 10 and equal 8th on the Manchester Evening News, I've got Rodri. Yeah, 9 appearances, 6.44 with me, and 6.67 out of 10 for the Manchester Evening News. And his best was the first game against Mönchengladbach. Into number 9 spot and number 10 on the Evening News is Diaz. Yeah, very low down Diaz. 11 appearances, 6.68 score for me, a 6.59 for the Evening News, and his best was the PSG home semi-final, Etihad semi-final. At number 8, yeah, number 7 on the Manchester Evening News, Cancelo, yeah, the forgotten man recently, wasn't he? He made the bare minimum. He made the 7 appearances, and he scored 6.79 with me and 6.71. And his best games came in the Mönchengladbach games, both Mönchengladbach games at the neutral ground, of course. Into number 7, yeah, and at number 4, actually, the Evening News. So, and it's my namesake, the guy I love. So there you go. I've not done him any favours in the Champions League. I had him at number 7. The Manchester Evening News got him at number 4. Of course, we're talking Bernardo. Again, 11 appearances, so just made a couple. He just missed out on a couple. 6.82 for me and 6.91 for the Manchester Evening News. And he was at his best in 4 consecutive games near the start of this campaign. Porto away, Marseille home, and both the Mönchengladbach games. So he was that's where he got most of his top marks. It kept him up in 7th. He may have been a bit lower otherwise. And number 6, yeah, just outside the top 5, but Manchester Evening News is number 5. But at number 6 for me, Gundogan, yeah, 12 appearances, so joint top appearances in the Champions League, starting appearances, 6.88 for me and 6.83 for the Manchester Evening News. And his best game came in 1 and 2, the first 2 games, Porto home and Marseille away, so he didn't quite hit any the heights after that, to be honest with you, which is a great shame. And into my top, this is the top 5 now, into the top 5, and this is quite a discrepancy, these first couple. I've got in 5th place, and he's joint 8th on the Manchester Evening News. I've got in 5th place, yes, Riyad Mahrez, 9 appearances, I got 6.89 average, and the Manchester Evening News got a 6.67 average, and his best performance with both the PSG games, home and away. So, yeah, 5th for me, but equal 8th in the Manchester Evening News. That was quite low. Into number 4 spot, and again, a slight discrepancy. At number 6 on the MEN top 12, I've got John Stones, at 8 appearances, a 6.94 average, so just under 7, a 6.75 average on the Manchester Evening News, and his best was, again, PSG at home. That's obviously a lot of the players had a good game against PSG, and that was his best performance of the Champions League season. So I had John Stones in 4th, and me had him in 6th. Now into the top 3, and we both agree on this, us and me and the Manchester Evening News, so there we go. In 3rd spot, so who've I not shouted yet that you know about? Well, there you go. In 3rd spot, yes, Mr. Kyle Walker. 11 appearances. He got an average score of 7.14 from me and a 7.09 from the Manchester Evening News. And his best was PSG away from home. So that was his best performance according to me and the MEN. And into the top 2. So what do you think? So obviously we'll just have a countdown from 12 to number 2. Number 12, we've got Sterling. Number 11, Edison. Number 10, Rodri. Number 9, Diaz. These are all my ratings, slightly different on the MEN. Cancelo is at number 8. Bernardo, number 7. Gundogan, number 6. 5, Riyad Mahrez. 4, John Stones. 3, Walker. 2, Turtle Doves. And a Partridge. No, sorry. Number 2. Yeah, number 2. So who's it between? I think you know who it's between now, don't you? At number 2, 12 appearances, so he made the joint most of starting appearances. He was only actually a sub. He did appear in all 13 games. He was a sub for the very, very first game against Porto. Of course, it's the Stockport Iniesta, Phil Foden, beat into number 2 spot with an average of 7.17 from me and an average of 7.25 from the Manchester Evening News. And he actually, 6 out of those 12 starting appearances, he was one of the highest marks between 7.5 and 8 out of 10. So, again, quite consistent there for Mr. Phil Foden. And at number 1, there you go. It doesn't take rocket science, does it? Number 1, of course, we've got the Belgian maestro, haven't we? We've got KDB. Just 8 appearances, though. So, yeah, in all fairness, perhaps Foden, perhaps because he played more, deserves a little bit of kudos for that. But certainly number 1 spot anyway for me and the Manchester Evening News. We've got KDB. 8 appearances, so just 1 more than the minimum. And he scored, but in 5 of those 8 games, he scored between 8 and 9 out of 10. So quite consistently high. It was only that last game, it's only the final where he really let himself down, or let us down, let himself down, let everybody down. But hey, you can only do what you can do, can't you? If it doesn't go right, it doesn't go right. But yeah, he's got so 7.38 from me out of 10 average for the Champions League, and a 7.5 average from the Manchester Evening News, so a bit higher from them. And his best game, he did have one standout in those 8 to 9 out of 10 ratings, was Dortmund at home was his sort of best performances. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Was that a surprise? It was a bit of a surprise to me. As I say, I know Stones has been popping up in the other in the domestic cups, but I say is apart from that, it's I was surprised to see KDB up there. I thought Foden would be up there. He's played pretty well in the Champions League and he's played a lot of the games, so that was good. And Walker's been consistent as well. But interesting to see KDB in number 1 spot anyway. But let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree. As I said, it's if you ask me, without me doing these stats and things, yeah, I would possibly gone to Foden and Walker before KDB, but just shows when you do keep a record, it's interesting, isn't it, that you get these results, and it's very interesting. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think, and if you did do your own scores, let me know what you averaged out for your scores. If you're a bit of a stat guy like me, I do like my stats, as you know, but there you go. Anyway, please, thanks for watching. Don't forget, there's loads of stuff, as I said, loads of stuff on the Citizen channel over the closed season or end of season, up till obviously we're back for Community Shield, aren't we? So there you go, nice trip to Wembley. Hopefully we're not all buggering about with PCR tests. But hey, I won't, you know, I'm not going to speak too soon. You may be all back in lockdown by then. We don't know, do we? But there'll be plenty of stuff. All my regular city features plus 1 or 2 little specials as well. So keep your eye out for them, and say please, and your city supporting mates, give me a plug and give them a shout for me. That'd be fantastic, and get them in going in my direction, and get them to help this channel out if you can. It'd be absolutely wonderful. I want to try and get to 1,000 subscribers by the start of the new footy season. So just under 100 to go at. So please, any help you can give me, be much appreciated. What are we going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families, and more importantly, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps, yeah, have a rest from football. Go over to my film and TV channel. Wherever we meet each other, all I ever ask you to do is stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.